I am now recording a video with a current active teacher. What is your name and what content and grade level have you taught?
Good evening. My name is Megan Quinn. I work for the Keyport Board of Education. I'm a paraprofessional at the Keyport Central School. I work with a group of special needs students, and my students range from 1st to 3rd grade.
And how many years have you been teaching for?
1 year.
Are you a student teacher or are you a current active teacher within a classroom?
In classroom support with 5 students in a self-contained classroom.
With the continued use of technology in the classroom, are you able to complete a lesson of yours that you teach in the classroom and then turn ahead and make it online?
Yes, actually. So, just this past December, our classroom was donated 4 brand new iPads for our students, and we downloaded several applications for the students to help them with their fine motor skills, handwriting, mathematic abilities. So, from working pen and paper and teaching them, with puzzles or wooden blocks, what have you, we've now turned to the iPads and used games to help these students learn how to write, add, subtract, basic life skills.
Yeah. Due to the environment that you work in, they might be a little bit different than kids who learn in a regular, everyday classroom. Would you still be able to create a lesson for them? Like, can you find games online that they can use on the computer at home where you can have them work on motor skills or anything along those lines?
So I see what you're referring to. I watched your flipped classroom where you taught PEMDAS. For my students, I think it's a little out of the realm right now. PEMDAS, we're working on basically adding and subtracting, one-digit numbers. 1 plus 2, 2 plus 3, the basics. I do think we could use this online platform to help them learn even outside of the classroom, like at home with their parents. We've used games such as it's a farm game we have, and it's actually the kids love it. It's 2 trees, a red tree, and a green apple tree, and the game will ask you, pick 2 green apples and then 4 red apples. How many apples do you have together? So the kids love it. They can click, okay. And it's very interactive. 1, 2, 2 green apples drops in the basket, 4 red apples, 1, 2, 3, 4 drops in the basket, and then they add at the end. And they give them a choice of 4 different baskets to choose from. Do you have 6 apples? Do you have 5 apples? Do you have 0 apples? Do you have 1? It really helps the kids learn, and it makes it fun for them. And instead of just having them learn pen and paper, it makes it more interactive and more interesting.
Yeah, definitely. How was your experience using this kind of form of communication? So, granted, we're not face to face right now, but I was able to FaceTime you. So that just shows the use of technology, that we don't need to be face to face so longer to have these interviews. So, what did you think of this?
I think this interview is very unique. I mean, we're a couple hundred miles away from each other, and we can have this talk. I think the downfall is this is more like screen to screen instead of face to face. You use that almost like that personal touch. I think a little bit's lost. But what I think is great is for the students, they can go back home, and if they have a problem with the lesson or a parent, doesn't quite understand it, you can go back online, log in, and see, okay, this is my child learned today. We'll go over the lesson plan again, help them, or they could look it over again if they have questions at homework, and they can review, okay, we did this in class, or these are the steps, and they go back and translate that back here.
Yeah, I agree, because it also gives parents the opportunity to see what their child are learning every day, and if it's then get reinforced while they're at home. Because some days, parents these days don't usually pay attention to what kids are learning in school, but if they have the opportunity to be on a flipped classroom and see what they're being taught on a day-to-day basis, then they can continue to reinforce that while they're home.
And then also, if your child's absent one day, it makes it more convenient. They can go online, see what the class learned. That way they're not so far behind the next that they come in. I know that's a big stress for most students. Like, I missed work. I don't understand the homework. What was the lesson plan yesterday? So, if you do happen to be home for a day for an illness or what have you, you can go online and see what went on in class that day. You may not totally understand it, but at least you have a gist or an idea of what was taught that day.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. I think it's super helpful in college as well, being a college student. We're all on different schedules. People are working or they have different obligations. And so even if we can't all be in the same place at the same time, we can still go in a Google Hangout or a group message or go on Google Docs and all be in the same doc together. So it makes it accessible to everybody's lives, people to be in one place at one time, even if it's not in person.
I agree. And being in classroom support, there have been times where I've had to go to different grade levels and help students with different abilities. And especially in like the higher levels, like the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade students, they would utilize Google Hangout for class projects, assignments. And it was really neat because, the students may not be able to meet together. People are very busy these days. But they could all work on the same project from home.
Yeah.
In real time. So you can see what one person's typing, looking up, and you could put your input in. So I think it's very unique and beneficial that everyone can be connected and learn. And I know for me, like, that started coming out when I was in college. And we utilized it a lot, note-taking and sharing.
Right.
So what one person may have picked up on, someone may have missed, and you could be able to share notes with each other. And I think that's, the wave of the future here.
Yeah, I agree. Flipped classrooms are definitely on the come up, and it's going to allow teachers to be present even when they can't physically be present. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this interview with me, and I wish you the best rest of your day.
Thank you. I wish you good luck on your project. If you ever need me for future resource, feel free to contact me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.